how I got into trials wasn't how any other rider got into trials. We went to like a fairground, and there was a bike for sale for £40, and my parents couldn't understand why I wanted this bike. There was like, it's got no seat, it doesn't make any sense, and I just wanted it because it was different. I didn't know what trials were at the time, and then I started riding it more and more, and I remember parents down the street saying, he's like trying to jump up my wall and things like that. And then I started riding more and more, and then you come across people. It's a small network is trials, but when you're inside the network, it feels massive when you're a kid, because it's so like amateur almost. When you start, it's like the way I did it was so amateur. So there was like other kids that had these bikes, and then it's like, he got up this, I want to get up this, and it's like that. And then over time, I started to know bigger people in the sport, and the people in the bigger people who was in the sport started introducing me to, oh, there's a competition here. So I went, and then you go to the next one, and the next one, and then it just snowballs, and it never stops. It just keeps going and going and going, and then I'm here now. But it's like a blur. All the middle bits like a blur. It's crazy how it's happened. My parents, all my family supported me, but my dad especially, he spent all my childhood with me. I've never been training on my own really, just always there. He doesn't care if I win, lose or draw. He's not bothered about that. We started off together and we'll finish together. Yeah, for sure, massive. I think there's definitely in every kind of aspect of life, people are gifted with things, but it's how much do you work that gift. Some people are naturally pick that up a lot quicker than another person, for example, but it's how much does that person want it. Because over my career so far, I've seen people who aren't as naturally gifted, but they work so hard and they get the results that way. For me, in one way, I don't have to work as hard because I am very natural on the bike, but I work like I'm not. So I just try my best all the time, like a day one beginner. That's like my attitude all the time. So I'm permanently fighting to get better and better and better.
Oh, it's a big jump, is this? It's a big one. Oosh.
I think I train harder than any other person in the sport, so all the time that's like a motivation in itself. But all the time it's more than just winning to me. It's all about improving my skills. It's all about improving that, because if I'm improving that, there's nothing more I can do. As long as I'm trying my best and I'm always working the hardest I can work without burning out, because that's another problem I always have, burnout. So sometimes I feel tired and I have to work through it. But I feel like the older I'm getting, the wiser I'm getting. So the more knowledge I'm getting to what I need to do to be ready for these events. It's really weird. We've had lots of quite good junior English riders, but they've never made it to that next stage. They've never gone and followed it through and got that into the men's elite kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know how I did it really. I suppose just determination, really, wanting this, my dream, to come true, and just fighting for it really. But France is so strong, especially in my category. France is dominant, but yeah, it's full of French riders. It's crazy. It's almost like the French Championship. It's crazy when we go in the final and there can be like 5 French riders and then just me on my own. But yeah, it's definitely a massive, even that in itself is a massive achievement, to be among all these riders who, it's like Vincent Hermans, Kenny Belay, Gilles Costillier. When I was a kid, I was like looking at these people, and now I compete against them. It's madness to me, even to this day. We need kids to make the sport big, to keep, not so much to make the sport big, to keep the sport growing and keep the sport alive. But yeah, when I train in my garden, kids are always looking over the wall, watching me, filming me on their phones. But yeah, no, it's really good to inspire kids. It's easy to inspire them, but to actually put into a reality for them, it's quite difficult because they have to go buy a bike and they have to go do this. It's not like going down the road to the park and playing football, you know. So it's sometimes you can tell if there's two children, you can tell who is really interested and who isn't. It's really funny. One child will stand there for hours on end, and one will walk off after so long. But it's nice when you see the child that will stay and watch and watch and watch, and you can see he wants to try it, he wants to do this. But yeah, it's good. It's good to see children interested in this sport. My son is always in the garage with me, messing around, doing things, because I sort all my bikes out myself. So he's always in there playing around. But yeah, he's too young yet. But for sure, I'd like him to be involved in trials. Yeah, or any discipline, not just trials. Any discipline. Most people would feel more stress now, and I feel the other way because I'm so young. This is how I try to look at it. Because I'm so young, I'm only 23-year-old. I've already been 3 times in the men's, so I feel like there's no pressure. I still feel a beginner in this game, so I still all the time approach it with like the underdog almost fighting back. My new goal for me is to be have the most world titles. That's my new goal for me, to be the most successful in it, in the actual sport itself. So yeah, the Rainbow Stripes is more than a World Cup for me. It's more than everything. I'm happy to not prepare as well for them to be really fit for the World Championship, because it's all or nothing for that competition. It's crazy that how big this sport really is. For me personally, I didn't know how big this sport really was, so it's like mind-blowing to me. But yeah, it's great to see sport like cycling almost near my house. So yeah, it's great to see that, and it's great to see that cycling's growing all the time. But for sure, it's mind-blowing how big road cycling really is.